Hey there, good morning and good opening night 2023 NHL DFS. It's your boy Choppadong, and we're here with DFSArmy.com. We're going to show you a quick, tour of the site, kind of what's different, what's changed, what's new. And I'm going to click on a few things, so grab a little notepad if you want to remember where to find these things, and let's rock and roll. I'm not going to get into the optimizer too much today. I'll show you where it is. It's right up here. When you click on the NHL page and you see all of the NHL articles, it's under the More tab right there. And you see all of the NHL articles. You'll see a lot of what we do in terms of some of the props and, of course, some of the off-season stuff. And then you'll see some cash and GPP type strategy articles. You will even see our cheat sheets and our daily snipes article for those hot picks that are going to land in the winning lineups. That's what we do here at DFS Army. We put the tools in front of you. We do all of the heavy lifting. You do the winning. So if you're interested in becoming a member of DFSArmy.com and you're not already one, you sign up through the pricing page. You pick your weekly, pick your monthly, pick your all-inclusive VIP, whatever it is that you want to do and you want to join, and you use the coupon code DFSArmy for a 10% off discount monthly in perpetuity as long as you remain a member. It's just not that hard. While you're there, of course, you subscribe all the videos, you do all that good stuff too. Now, we're building out as a program. We've contracted back, and we've gotten back to the basics here at DFSArmy.com because we feel that NHL is an underrepresented sport. And now that we've got a staff that we're excited about, we've got coaches that we're excited about here in place, we're going to have one hell of a year. So there's the article right there that you just noticed, the Snipes article. That walks through and shows you who you should be targeting today. If you want to see the primer in cash and GPPs, you walk through this article, and you're going to see the differences between how to play a cash game in NHL, how to play a GPP in NHL, and what player types you should maybe be focused on, as well as how important is the goalie, how important is stacking. All of those questions come to light. But let's dive in really quickly and let's show you the research station, and then let's show you the cheat sheets, because that's where it all really comes together. This stuff is all great, and this stuff gives you some ideas. But then you want to back your smack. You want to dive in. You want to see data. You want to see that these things actually really work. And so when I go into the research station here at DFSArmy.com, sensing a theme, I kind of rep my boys. You're going to come down into the data suite. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller so that we can see it on one page. And you're going to see the opening games. You're going to see when the Vegas stuff populates. You're going to see a lot of stats populate. Goals for per game, goals against per game, all this sort of stuff for the goalies. You're going to see last 2 years versus opponent, all of the statistics that you could possibly want. But what you really need to remember is typically green is good, red is bad. Pretty simple. So if we're looking for a goalie and we're ranked number 1 overall in goals for, that's good for the Tampa Bay Lightning. That means they don't allow a lot of goals, which means the goalie's probably in a pretty good spot. You come over here and you look in the last 10 road games, 30 goals, ranked 30th, ranked 29th in goals for. That means the National ain't doing so hot, right? So that might automatically say, well, Tampa Bay's in a pretty good spot. When I scroll down here, because, they got a good defense and obviously a good offense going up against a defense that's slumping a little bit, which, I think Nashville, was it Florida and Vegas were in the finals last year? I can't even remember. But these are the things that we're going to start piecing together puzzles with. We're going to have to use, season numbers, last whatever type numbers early in the season. But once we get about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks in, these things start to populate, and these last 10 and last 5 games categories become very, very, very important for finding who the hot goalies are. Like baseball, hockey is a sport of trending information. It's a sport of momentum. A hot shooter is a hot shooter is a hot shooter, and a cold dude might as well be sitting his butt down on the ice because he's freezing. And he's not usually going to do us a lot of good. So we can ride those trends in NHL, and that's what these two columns help us figure out. We can always look at fantasy points and things on the season, but we're really looking at those last 10 games and maybe even comparing to the last 5 games. Is his average in the last 5 games over his average in the last 10 games? Is he ascending? Is he rising? Is he getting hotter and hotter and hotter? We look for things like shots on goal, because shots on goal are predictive. Shooters tend to shoot. Goals and assists and all that kind of stuff are kind of like your touchdowns in football, right? Like we love a guy who gets red zone work, and we love a guy who gets, 18 touches or 8 or 10 targets, like Puka Nacua, for crying out loud, or Cooper Kupp. These guys get targets. Justin Jefferson. They get lots of opportunity. it's predictable that they get a lot of opportunity, that they get a lot of targets, because we've seen the data over the weeks pile in and say those teams just love throwing the ball to their boy. Well, hockey's the same way. We push the puck up to Alexander Ovechkin. We push the puck up to Connor McDavid, and those dudes shoot. Because they shoot so much, just by natural progression, shots go in the goal. We never know if he's going to score no goals tonight, doink 2 posts, or if he's going to score 3 goals tonight and walk off with hats on the ice. We just don't know. But we know that over the course of a season, those that shoot more tend to score more. So we bank on that. And we try to predict that a little bit with matchups, and this goalie's not so good, his save percentage is low, whatever, and we try to stack his teammates around him in tournaments and such, because, when Connor McDavid scores, Leon Draisaitl might have gotten an assist or something like that, and that's going to help us parlay points and help us really shoot up a leaderboard. But that's what all of this stuff is for. It runs through power plays. It runs through, again, what lines they're on, if they're on a power play, if they're on line 3. Obviously, if they're wings or defensemen, how many shots they take, how many blocks they how many times they get in the way of the puck, how many goals they've scored in the past year, are they hot? All that stuff is all encompassed in the sheet, and it goes by game, by game, by game, by game, the entire slate. That's what this sheet does for you. But if that's too much and you don't really know exactly where to go with this yet, then what do? You click on the cheat sheets and you cheat. You cheat. You use our coaches to point out to you what they're after. So when you've got your Draftkings stuff here, the blue guys are the core plays. These are the guys you should probably focus on, especially in a cash game scenario, because they've got the highest floors, they've got the best opportunities. They're the guys that our coaches are building most of their lineups around. Okay, and sometimes you'll see guys that are a little bit more expensive, guys are a little bit cheaper, whatever you're mixing and matching and you're playing your thing. The coach even gives you a confidence rating from 1 star to 5 stars in how much he likes that play. And then, of course, the detailed notes. This is the secret sauce to all of our cheat sheets across every sport: NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, NASCAR, golf, whatever. It doesn't matter what you play here. These cheat sheets and the detailed notes are what give you the insight into the coach's mind, in which you can obviously say, I agree or I disagree. You can say, I like Jack Eichel today. And the coach says he's okay because he listed him on his cheat sheet, but he didn't like him as much as Sidney Crosby. That's okay. That's plenty fine. All we're looking to do is start pairing some of these guys up and start using some of these core plays in a cash game scenario, maybe most of what we do for tournament lineups, and then mix and match the rest. And like I said, I'll show you the optimizer another time, because it's really, really easy to just click stacking and bing, form all of those lineups. That's what makes being a VIP here so damn important, to be quite honest with you. But you run down here and you're looking at the goalies and the defensemen and whatever, and you've got a couple of guys at every position that the coaches are really, really keying on. And again, all of the notes, and then you've got your stacking section down here. These are the stacks the coach prefers. And these are the players within the stack that the coach prefers. But really and truly, all 5 of those guys, 4 of the 5 are usually pretty viable. And then a little bit of note about why we like the stack. And when you kick over to Fanduel, it's the same thing, just with a little bit different twist, because there's pricing differences. There's a little bit of shot on goal type bonuses and stuff on DraftKings that Fanduel doesn't do. So the gameplay is slightly different, but really and truly mostly the same. But again, you've got your core plays, you've got all of your detailed notes, all of the players that we're saying are in a very, very good spot, a strong spot to do some damage tonight. Which goalies you should probably be playing. Of course, where'd those goalies go? They're at the top on the Fanduel sheet. But which goalies you should probably be keying on, and then which stacks you should be looking at. And that's it. And I just want to end you with this. Hockey doesn't have to be any harder than this. Hockey's wildly volatile. There's not a massive edge, because really and truly, just like home runs in baseball, especially over on FanDuel, home runs are such a swing in points. Goals and assists in hockey are such a swing in points. Our lineups are very goal dependent in hockey. That's how you're going to determine your success. Goals are a little bit fluky, like home runs in baseball. You've got your high floor guys that reach base all the time and all that kind of stuff, and they're great. And they're good for cash games, needling along and just working your way up the leaderboard. But when you get the big boom, the big play, the big stack goes off with a couple of guys on base, or in hockey, the goal gets scored and you have both of the guys that fired in the assist as well, you're going to really see a big, massive jump. 30 points upwards of from what might take 120 or 130 points to get into the cash. That's like a third or a fourth of your scoring sometimes in one significant scoring event. When you're dealing with something that large, the swing that large, you're going to deal with a very volatile sport. Period. End of story. Very, very volatile sport. And therefore, your edge is going to be a little bit lower. Your short-term luck is going to be a lot higher. And your variance, whether you're doing well or whether you're doing poorly, is going to swing wildly. You're going to have long losing streaks in this sport. It's just a fact of life. It's just the nature of the game. It can wear you down through December if you still haven't turned things around, but it is honestly well within the realm of possibilities and doesn't really even mean that you don't beat the game. Doesn't mean that you can't beat the house and other players. Doesn't mean you're not building better lineups than everybody else. It means you're not getting the goals. You're not getting the results. And again, goals are less predictive than shots. We keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again over time-tested methods that key and focus on specific players, and we realize that over time things will start to even out. That's the goal. But again, we've got a research station suite of statistics, we've got a domination station building you lineups based on quality projections, and we've got cheat sheet from our coaches that explain everything right there in blue and white for you, and a Discord that is very, very active with people chiming in all day long, discussing plays, discussing game theory, discussing everything that's going to take to put you on top of the leaderboards, whether you play cash games or GPPs. It's all up to you. It's all here at your fingertips. You just need to use that code DFSArmy.com. DFSArmy at DFSArmy.com. Couldn't be simpler. 10% off. Get your butt in here. Start winning some NHL. You might like the sport as much as I do. Hopefully we see you on the inside. Say hi when you get in there, and we'll all say hi back. Welcome to opening night 2023, everybody. Let's rock and roll.